The right stuff has returned, this time from the Lone Star State with its most explosive season yet. Extreme challenges await as these 6 men go head-to-head, taking physical endurance and marksmanship to a whole new level. Who will outshoot, outperform, and outlast the competition as each man pushes it to the limits to say they have the right stuff. It's the final day of the right stuff, and it has all come down to the Tannerite Final Apocalypse. From pistols to tanks, this explosive season has been our biggest ever. Patches Eason did not have the right stuff and was the first to be eliminated. Dylan Irvin got eliminated in the Nissan Park and Throw Challenge, and Seth Castor was beat by a millisecond in a 3-way shootout. Rowdy Bricko packed his bags up after the Old Western Town Challenge. Now, only Tim and Will remain, and only one can claim the right to have the right stuff. Welcome to Day 9 and the finale of The Right Stuff, as Matt, Will, and Tim prep for the final challenge.
All right, welcome to the Tannerite Final Apocalypse. How does it feel to be here? I'm just glad to be here. It's a long road. Will, you're coming into it with 5 shells and 3, but none of that matters now because it's winter. All right, Will, you're up first. You ready? I'm ready. All right, let's do it. Tim, we'll have some. Good luck, buddy. Take care.
And welcome, gentlemen, to the Tannerite Apocalypse Challenge. Contestants must begin at the starting line with 25-pound backpacks. Each contestant must climb 4-foot, 5-foot, and 6-foot walls, and then shoot 3 different stages of targets with a revolver, Glock, and shotgun. After climbing the final wall, the contestant must then run to the Tannerite Final Apocalypse set, grab an AR-10 or AR-15 rifle, and run 100 yards to the platform podium. The contestant must lay down prone and shoot a lollipop and 6-pound Tannerite target at 100 yards. The fastest time and the most targets hit wins. The Right Stuff will be back after a short message.
I'm Alan Falk. I'm a marketing director at Tannerite Sports. Tannerite is a binary exploding rifle target designed for long-range shooting. The explosion is extremely exciting. It's a loud, thunderous sound and a big cloud of water vapor, which you obviously know you hit it. Tannerite's a small family-run company. If you want to find Tannerite and you're not sure where to look, go to our website at tannerite.com, and we have a list of all of our dealers and distributors.
The Right Stuff is brought to you in part by Nissan's American Titan Truck, G-Shock, Armalite, Glock, and Tannerite. The Right Stuff is brought to you in part by Surgeon Rifles, Macmillan, Vortex, and Tough Products. American Titan Truck. Simply the best built American truck ever. Designed in California, engineered in Michigan, tested in Arizona, assembled in Mississippi, powered by Tennessee, and Cummins in Indiana. Nissan's American Titan Truck. Welcome to Day 9 and the finale of The Right Stuff. First up in the Tannerite Apocalypse Challenge is Will Round with Team Glock.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Next up is Tim Martin with Team McMillan. The Right Stuff will be back after a short message. The G-Shock Master of G line of watches was developed for men who relentlessly challenge the limits under extreme conditions. With specialized functions, this line has adapted and evolved to respond successfully to conditions in 3 different fields: in the sky, on the land, and out at sea. Gathering feedback from professionals on the front lines of these fields to ensure that its development solutions meet their needs, this remarkable line of G-Shock watches are powerful tools to support wearers on their missions. The Right Stuff is brought to you in part by Polaris Fun Center, Slingshot, Wiley X, True Spec, and Reebok. The Right Stuff is brought to you in part by Champion Firearms, Revy, ProShot, and Total Resources.
Hi, my name is Mike Stoltz. I started Champion Firearms in 1993 with my wife, Katie. Our goal was to build a gun store and an indoor shooting range which offered full service to people in our local community. By 2003, we found out that there was something missing. So we built a 9-lane indoor shooting range to offer better service to our customers. It's an automatic target retrieval system, so there's no ceasefires, there's no having to wait for people to go swap out targets. Literally, it's push a button, change a target, and it's back to shooting again. But also, too, we have over 100 handguns on the range for rent. It used to be when we first started, it was virtually no ladies were taking concealed carry classes. Now, over half of our classes are, ladies taking the class. Self-defense is foremost on people's minds. Everybody wants to defend themselves or their families. We carry pretty much everything from modern sporting rifles, hunting rifles, handguns, shotguns, you name it, we carry them. ARs are one of our biggest lines by far. That is definitely, people are into shooting ARs for hunting, for target, for self-defense. So it's the biggest market that we have. We're proud to be the official FFL dealer for the Shipman Group. If you're here in Central Texas, come by and see us. We're in College Station.
Welcome back to The Right Stuff. With the final Tannerite apocalypse now complete, it's time to head over to the Campfire Armory where Matt, Will, and Tim await for the series officials to review every target and compare their times. Both Tim and Will are in good spirits as they reflect on how they did in the event, waiting for the results. The verdict is in and is passed down to Matt. The winner of The Right Stuff Season 4 is Tim and Team McMillan. Tim is elated with the news, sending Will and Team Gluck to hang up their bandolier, making them the runners-up for Season 4 of The Right Stuff. Tim is clearly excited about the win and proven he has what it takes to have the right stuff. It's time to head back to camp as champion of The Right Stuff. The Right Stuff is brought to you in part by Metal Spinning Targets, Cinch, and Cruel Girl, Fat Man Beef Jerky, and Airsoft. The Right Stuff is brought to you in part by Promatic, Dripping Springs Vodka, Fall Creek Vineyards, Rebecca Creek Distillery, the Museum of the American GI.
Hi, I'm Brett Mullins. I'm president of the Museum of the American GI in College Station, Texas. We're about the American GI. We're not about the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, or the Coast Guard. We're about all of them. We're about all time eras also. We're trying to preserve the memories, the uniforms, the equipment, and the history of the American servicemen and women. I think the most interesting artifacts that our museum has is all of our armored vehicle collection. We have a large armored vehicle collection, and what's unique about it is that everything is fully restored. When I say fully restored, I mean the guns are operational, the intercom is operational, everything works on the vehicles. They've been meticulously disassembled and restored with a great amount of effort from myself and all of the museum volunteers. And once a year, we take the vehicles out and have a large-scale reenactment with 200 reenactors or so, and all of our tanks and armored cars and artillery out in the field. The museum is open 3 days a week right now until we complete our second story, and then we hope to be open 5 days to a week at least. But we have displays that come into the museum. Right now we have Remembering Our Fallen that is finishing up today. It's about the sacrifices of the American servicemen since 9/11, servicemen and women, and highlights all the Texans that have lost their lives in the War on Terror. But that's just one of the displays that we have had here. We've had the traveling Vietnam Wall, and of course we have our permanent displays here, which are iconic things like our armored vehicle collection, our uniform collection, and our Huey Cobra hanging from the ceiling, and our fully restored Vietnam PBR boat. This vehicle is a 1942 M483 Sherman medium tank. It is the backbone of the U.S. Armored Force in World War II. This particular tank was built by Ford Motor Company. It has an 1,100 cubic inch V8 engine in it. It puts out about 500 horsepower. This was the preferred engine that the U.S. Army adopted in their tanks and the subsequent tanks right after World War II. But this tank has a 75 millimeter gun, 2 30 caliber machine guns, and 1 50 caliber machine gun. And this is the quintessential World War II D-Day tank. Collecting uniforms when I was 15, 16 years old morphed into Jeeps, morphed into trucks, morphed into tanks, armored cars, and artillery. I guess if I collected naval stuff, I would be into aircraft carriers now. But it's just a love of history, a love of mechanical things. I'm quite interested in all the mechanical aspects of the vehicles, and I really enjoy all the restoration projects that we have. Well, I'm not going to say that I have a favorite artifact, but the Shermans certainly have to be at the top of the list. They're just such a recognized tank from World War II, and we're fortunate enough to have 2 Shermans, so not only are we lucky in that respect, but 2 fully functional Shermans running side by side in our reenactments is a real spectacle to see this late date after World War II.
Great competition with a great competitor of Tim. Congratulations to him. I fell a little short with a little bit of tunnel vision on the dueling tree, but other than that I thought I performed really well. I went 1 for 1 on the single action pistol and almost 1 for 1 on the rifle at the end. So I'm proud of my performance. The competition in general was super fun, really enjoyed it. Competing against these 6 guys was really, really fun. They all put out 100%, and it was nice to make it to the finale and compete against someone like Tim.
Another fantastic Shipman Agency production.